Bigfoot cooking.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Bigfoot Cooking. Today's menu, stuffed Squatch Fingers, aka chicken enchiladas. Ooh, lots of goodness piled right high deep into a bowl. What better use is there for a casserole dish than to stuff it full of food? What's next? Time for the shopping list. We're gonna start out with the main meal per se, because it's gotta cook the longest. So you're gonna need about 3 pounds of chicken, about half an onion, 3 cloves of garlic, and then 2 teaspoons of salt, pepper, and paprika, or paprika, you know, the red stuff, the smoky red flavor, good stuff. We're gonna move on from there, and we're gonna get into the filling part of it. For the filling, we're gonna be dealing with 2 cups of pepper jack cheese. We're gonna shred it ourselves. Green chili peppers, jalapenos, of course the tortillas to put them on, a sour cream, green sauce, and a little bit of cornstarch for the green sauce. That'll be optional, and I'll explain that one in a minute. But the cool part of today is we're making our tortillas. Not that complicated, believe it or not. All you need is 2 cups of flour, a half a teaspoon of salt, 3 tablespoons of oil, and 3/4 cup of water. Now that's gonna get you about 8 tortillas. So if you need to make more or less, adjust the recipe accordingly. Now, let's get started with getting the chicken ready. To get this party started, the onion. We're gonna slice it in half because we only need half of it. Once we have that guy done, we're going to take and lop off its head and then peel off the outer layer of paper, skin, whatever you call it. Now you take your knife and you make straight down cuts. Once that's done, you can come back here, and as you slice, everything comes out nice and shredded. And then you just clean up the tail end. And no tears were emitted during this whole process. We're gonna take half our onions, plop those guys in there. And then we'll take our garlic, treat it like a bad little thing to get the skin off, as well as the next one, and the final one. All right, now that we've got the skin off, time to put it in the garlic press. This is an amazing little critter, I gotta admit. All 3 cloves, and just, there you go. Garlic in. Now we're gonna mix this around a little bit to get the garlic kind of, a little bit of everywhere. Take our chicken and just lay it in here. Not real complicated yet, huh? Now comes the complicated part though. My chicken is slightly frozen, but it'll work out good. All the kids are in the pool. We take the rest of our onion, throw it across the top. Take our pepper with a volunteer onion. Take our salt with no volunteer onion. Whee! And a little paprika, because our goal in cooking is to have flavor, so why would you not add something that has a little flavor? Get on out of there. This stuff is sticky. And we're gonna set all that goodness into the crock pot. We are going to power her on. And we got it on low, we got it on 8 hours, and the magic shall begin. We'll see you soon. And now, through the magic power of YouTube and video editing, we've almost been long enough for the chicken to finish cooking. House smells great. So for the next part, we're gonna work on the sauce. Now, the secret ingredient, it's really simple for the sauce. It's called buy a can. These guys know what they're doing. I'm not going to tell them how to do it. So we're going to be using the old El Paso green chili sauce, or if you want to get fancy, the Verde sauce. The only catch is it's a little thin when you come out of the can. So what we're going to do, we're going to heat it up and we're going to use a little bit of cornstarch to thicken it up. So let me show you how this process goes. And now we pop the lid open without dropping it into the magic can. That's the hard part. And now for the real technical skill, pour. Ooh, delicious stuff, but a little thin. We're gonna place it on a low heat. There we go. And we're just gonna let it come up to temperature. You wanna have this almost simmering, boiling before we put in the cornstarch, or else it'll be lumpy. Now that our enchilada sauce is hot, starting to boil just a little bit, time to put the cornstarch in. And the best way I found to do this, you can mix it in a cup, you can stir it, whatever, but a little canning jar, a little jelly jar. We're gonna take our tablespoon of cornstarch and about 2 tablespoons of water. They didn't blow up, it's not a bomb. We'll put the lid on it and shake, 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 shake. Now, this stuff is almost like paint. So if you spill it going between the 2 spots, it dries, it's white powder crusty, but it'll make this stuff turn out really well. Let me show you. And now we take the lid off of it. We're gonna take our whisk and stir it so it doesn't just go in one solid little bloop. And we're gonna pour, mixing, 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 because again, you don't want the mess. And make sure you really don't see any of the residue left behind. And I don't know if you can tell right off the bat, but we're already thicker. This is gonna hold on to the enchilada so much better. We'll leave this little guy sitting right here for a few minutes and we'll work on the tortillas now. It is time to make the tortilla dough. We start with our 2 cups of flour. We're using all-purpose on this one. We have a heaping teaspoon of salt. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna slide this guy in. We're gonna turn it on and we're gonna let it mix for a minute and stir up our dry ingredients. And we'll give that another mix. And we're gonna drizzle in our oil. I'm not exactly sure what a drizzle is. It's kind of a light rainstorm, but we are drizzling in our oil. And now we're gonna add our water. We're gonna pour it in nice and slow from the side while the beater's working. So that way it all gets nice, mixed up and happy into one big doofy dough ball. Now, did you notice how it was going along and all of a sudden the dough quit sticking to the sides? That's exactly what we're looking for. Let's pull it out and see what we got. What you're after is a dough that doesn't stick to your hands, doesn't stick to anything. Oh, we're still a little gummy. Let's add just a touch of flour and stir it up some more. Now that we've got it mixed up, you should be able to come out and the dough not be sticky to the fingers. Peels off very well, very well. It's almost a beautiful, magical thing. We're gonna get this one off. We're gonna cover it and we're gonna let it sit here for about 10 minutes and let it glutenize, do all that gluten magic that goes on in here. And then we'll roll them out. So while we're waiting on the dough to set, we're gonna go ahead and shred our cheese. We've got a whole pound of pepper jack cheese, cut it into half. From here, you can either get your box shredder, chop, 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 or I want to try out my new food processor. It says it works, it says it's good. Let's find out together. Put it on disc. Holy crap, that was easy. Let's see what we've got. Let's try not to drop it this time. Oh look, comes with a free sample. So, shredding 8 ounces gives us, other than a giant mess, what do you think we got? Let's see, roughly, ta-da, 2 cups of cheese. Is that really enough though? I mean, the recipe might say 2 cups. Let's go for 3. And in goes our other cup of cheese. So I guess that's what? 4 ounces of cheese makes a cup? Okay, sounds good to me. You know what just occurred to me? There's never enough cheese. All of it. Yes, by the power of the cheese master. Woo, and the snack gods. We have ground up all our cheese. And into the measuring cup we go. Come on, kids, fresh pool. Whee, woo. That's a whole lot of lotta. Oh, this is gonna be good. I mean, what can go wrong with cheese, right? And now that our cheese is done, let's go ahead and get started on the tortillas. So cheese is shredded. Now it's time to make my little snowman. I tell you what, this little pepper shaker here, well, salt shaker, whatever, turning it into a flour shaker, stroke of genius. Now that we got our flour down, let's pull out our super stretchy dough. Oh yeah, this is going to be wonderful. Get it all out the bottom. We're gonna flour it up just a little bit. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna work on rolling it out to get it into 8 individual sizes. Come on, tortilla dough. Be nice. Look how stretchy. Bink, bink. 8 bite-sized, fun-filled moments. We'll cut it in half, cut that half in half, and cut that half in half. And this is how you have somewhat even-sized bread. Now you can hope and cut this way, whatever works for you. We're now taking these guys, we're gonna ball them up, set them to the side for just a moment while we're working on the rest of the goodness. Now we've got our last dough ball worked into a nice, pretty, smooth moment of joy. It's first in, first out. We start with this one, set her back down here on my floured surface, and we're gonna roll them out. Now the good thing about homemade is, believe it or not, if they're not round, they taste the same. So don't stress, don't sweat too much that they're not store-bought perfect. Most homemade things never are. We don't have a $4 million machine to do this. We just have a wooden stick and a hope and a dream. Speaking of hopes and dreams, you guys are enjoying this so far. How about giving me a like and subscribe? My goal, I want one of those silver play buttons. And the only way I can do that is with you guys' help. I do appreciate it. All right, now that we got our griddle nice and hot, we're gonna take our tortilla and we're gonna lay this guy right on there. There we go, nice and pretty. This don't take but about a minute. Oh, there we go. It don't take but about a minute to do. You're gonna get it where it browns on one side, flip it over. When I say brown, I don't mean like toast. I mean like just little bitty spots. I know there's an actual technical name for those little things, but I don't know it. While those are going, we're just gonna keep on rolling out the next ones. Time to flip. Oh, well, maybe a little early to flip, but it's okay. We can go back and forth a few times till we get them just the way we want. Let's see how we look now. Oh yeah, they got freckles. Looky there. Ooh, they even swelling a little bit. That's what I'm talking about. You don't want to cook these too long. We're not trying to make corn chips. We're just trying to get these done, keep them soft, so we can roll our good enchiladas all up in there. Yep, these look just right. Got our freckles on them. We're gonna put them in here so we can keep them warm. Don't want to let them dry out. And we can get the next ones on. It is just that easy, folks. Whee! Next, Plump. Plump. And the last ones. Ooh, man. These things came out dadgum near perfect. Okay, so now let's start to shred the chicken. I'm gonna show you a really little different way you may or may not have thought of for shredding chicken. Now that our chicken has had plenty of time to reminisce in the hot, hot sun, well, maybe not sun, but in the hotness of the crock pot, it is time to shred. Not by hand, because you will burn. Not by fork, takes too long. We are gonna hit it with a mixer. Get ready. And into the pool, kids. Low speed. How's that for shredded chicken? But wait, we need flavor. We're gonna scoop in 1 shot of this here wonderful green sauce and a can of our green chilies. We're gonna set these guys in here. And once again, time for the shredder. Didn't know a mixer could do that, did you? And last but not least, a nice big handful of cheese to make it all gooey, gummy, and yummy. Can't use all of it though. Gotta save some to coat the top with later. Watch the cheese disappear. Now you don't want to over shred it too much, because if you do, instead of looking like shredded, you're just gonna have like, I don't know, ground chicken. Not what you want in your enchilada. Remember when I said we were gonna lubricate the pan? Put a little bit down on the bottom and get it covered out everywhere. Reason for this, it helps keep things from sticking. And I mean, when you deliver these, you of course want it to look like a whole enchilada. Boom, boom. We'll start out with our freshly made, super flexible tortilla. We're gonna scoop in, now here's the kicker. As much as I would love to put a whole big honking amount in there, if you overfill these, it's not gonna turn out right. You're gonna wind up busting them in half. And again, presentation is what you're after. All right, all right, all right, all right. Maybe a pinch more cheese, because don't you always need more cheese? And then what we're gonna do, we'll bring it back a little bit, roll. You wanna try to get this pretty tight. And then where the seam is, you're gonna set the seam right on the bottom and let it rest, take a nap. Looks like a little pillow. It's a bed of goodness right there. And we're gonna roll out the rest of them.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100.
Come on, slide on in there. Get in with your big brothers. All right. Now we're gonna scoop in our sauce. Now, I don't know if you have ever used that sauce before, but as you see, this has a lot of holding power now. That little bit of cornstarch, world of difference. Get a little bit on everybody, because everybody needs to taste delicious. And because no sauce will ever be wasted, I will sit here and let this thing drip to get it all. And because we had cheese, I mean, why waste good shredded cheese? Actually, is there bad shredded cheese? Nah, never. All right. Now, time for the oven. Now we do have a fair amount of chicken left over, so we have a plan for that. We may be making some fried chimichangas in honor of somebody, but I'm not sure who. Now, as a little side note and some trivial aspect, I asked a friend of mine who speaks very fluent Spanish, because I don't. I said, what does enchilada actually mean? Like breaking down the word. And they said, well, it kind of means two different things. You could call it, I can't remember what she said. It is a sauce-covered quesadilla, which makes sense because it is a quesadilla. But the one I really liked the best was a sauce-submerged taco. Either way, sounds really freaking delicious. Oven is preheated. Ooh, yes, it is preheated. All right, come on, babies. Warm up. Let the firebox perform its magic. We're gonna let those babies marinate in the fire for 20 minutes. Now, while that's finishing in the hot box, I went ahead and prepped some of the stuff I'm gonna lay on top of mine, because what's worse than adding more flavor to more flavor? Nothing. With the exception of cilantro. Cilantro is one of those things that, believe it or not, there are a few people out there that react to the decanol. That's the name of it, DECENAL. It's a compound that's inside of cilantro. That compound can actually taste like soap to a certain amount of the population. Sounds weird, right? I know. I actually know somebody that has this little issue. So why? It's a genetic thing. Something in the makeup of the person that cilantro is not their thing. So just something to think about before you really load it onto a dish. There may be some people out there that's gonna be the worst dish they ever ate, because it tastes like you put laundry soap all over the top of it. Oh yeah, the timer made noise. What have we got? Whew. I keep forgetting this thing is hot, hot, hot. What have we got here? Oh, I hear it bubbling in the bottom and melty cheese on top. Melty cheese, little bubbling action underneath. Oh yes, this, my friends, will be wonderful stuffed Squatch fingers. I mean, chicken enchiladas. The spicy side, the normal side. We're gonna let this thing temper for about 10 minutes. Let it get happy and not burn my tongue. And then, come to daddy. Time has elapsed and the meal is ready. Come, come, come. Oh, come on now, be nice. I'm gonna lose one. It's a terrible thing. That's all right. I'll just take the next one. I am not scared to try something good. Look at that. Nice head of steam, properly prepared, and full of delicious. Yes, looky here. A couple of thinly sliced, this is garden fresh too, pulled out of my own front yard. Garden sliced, naturally cheese. Why not? More jalapenos, because I have more jalapenos. Sour cream. Uncooperating sour cream, but nevertheless sour cream. We'll put a little there, put a little there, because of course you want this in every bite. Come on off. There we go. And the aforementioned cilantro. Couple of colors there. And ooh, no, don't want no sticks and stems. We know about that. We don't want none of that stuff here. You could slice this, but I got such a big old head of it. We're gonna rock with this. And now the taste test. And now for the bite. Man, where do you start? Because this is a meal. This is not one that's, well, I'm not gonna run and hide and eat this one. I may eat this whole thing right here. I don't know if I'm gonna torture y'all watching me, but I may eat the whole thing without moving. Yep. I'll tell you what, the homemade shells makes all the difference in the world. You can do store-bought, makes it a lot faster, but to have it more authentic, more real, oh yeah, this is the way to go. So, while I eat this, I want y'all to remember one most important thing. Bigfoot is real. Now that I'm a member of the Clean Plate Club, it's time to become a member of the Repeat Offenders Club. Man, I have never loaded a dishwasher where you open it up and it smells good. Are you recording this?